Welcome back to Talking 10 TV. It's Andy Coppens, your publisher and host extraordinaire. It's week 6 also on the college football docket. It should also mean time for previews, predictions, and prognostications. And that's what we're here to do. Today on the docket, the battle for the Freedom Trophy between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Wisconsin Badgers. Coming to you from under the lights of Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. Kick time scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern on BTN. So let's just stop wasting time here and let's get into the previewing, predicting, and prognosticating. My one burning question this week, is Nebraska's defense actually turning the corner? One could go in a whole lot of directions in this game between Barry Alvarez's favorite two schools. But for me, the reality of this game is very simple. Nebraska's defense needs to either show up or they're going to get punished. Wisconsin comes into this game as one of the statistically best offenses in the conference. Meanwhile, Nebraska comes into this one having put up some actually impressive numbers of their own defensively. They gave up 17 points to Rutgers, but 7 of those came of the pick 6 variety from Nebraska's own quarterback, so technically they've only given up 10 points to the Scarlet Knights. Then they went on the road last week and gave up just 7 points to Illinois. Sure, I know those are not that impressive when you talk about two of the most inept offenses in the Big Ten, but at least it showed that there was some improvement, whether it was marked or not, from Bob Diaco's defense. The other question here is, can these performances be backed up against a good offense? The last time Bob Diaco's defense went up against a high-powered offense, it got ran over, passed over, and then gave up over 40 points to Oregon. Wisconsin may not play at the same pace as Oregon, but so far this season, the Badgers have averaged a healthy 40.5 points per game. Nebraska's defense has got to stiffen up, or it could be a rough night in Lincoln for the hosts. And that brings us to two key stats here. My first up is the number 13, and that's the number of catches for 15 plus yards from Nebraska's wide receiver Stanley Morgan Jr. Wisconsin faces perhaps the best group of wide receivers it has seen so far and likely will see all season long. And that, of course, is in Nebraska's offense. Stanley Morgan Jr. leads the team not only with 26 receptions, but he's got 13 of them going for 15 yards or more already on the season, and he's already missed a game. Now, if there's one area the Badgers' pass defense has struggled with so far, it has been the big play. UW has given up 9 plays of 15 plus yards, and 5 of those 9 plays have gone for over 25 yards so far this season. So keep an eye on Morgan versus Derek Tyndall. If you're hearing Morgan's name, it's likely good news for the Huskers. And my second one, very simple. That's the number 51, which is the percentage of third down conversions for the Wisconsin Badgers so far this season. If you want to know whether this is going to be a win for the Badgers or not, well, just look at how third downs are going. Wisconsin leads the Big Ten in third down conversion rates at 51%. And even more impressive is that they've had the second fewest third downs to convert in the conference. So this stat is twofold for me, actually. Look for the number of third downs. If it's low, good news, Wisconsin. And if they're converting at a high rate on those numbers, also good news, Wisconsin. 3 key players in this game. I'm going to start off with the Wisconsin Badgers. Running back Jonathan Taylor has got to be big. There's no doubt Wisconsin has found its starting running back to be 100% for sure. But the Big Ten opener wasn't all that kind to him. Northwestern's defense shut down the Badgers' rushing attack pretty well last week, and Taylor put up a season-low 80 yards. But he was also somewhat efficient in that game, putting up another 2 rushing touchdowns to maintain his B1G leading 7 rushing touchdowns on the season. This offense is really hard to stop when Taylor gets going, and that would be ideal for the Badgers on Saturday night. My second key player, defensively, for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, that's Chris Webber, their inside linebacker. And usually, inside linebackers are known to be ones doing the dirty work and nothing much else in the 3-4 defense. That's not the case for Nebraska inside linebacker Chris Webber, though. He's second on the team with 31 tackles. He leads the team with 4 tackles for loss. He's got 1 sack and an interception already this season. In fact, he might be the Huskers' biggest defensive hope in this game. On the flip side, he's got to also deal with Alex Hornibrook, Wisconsin's quarterback. Now, everyone wants to focus on Tanner Lee in this game, and part of me says rightfully so, given his awful start to the season. However, Wisconsin's quarterback has been inconsistent as well. It's strange to say that, especially considering he leads the Big Ten in passer efficiency rating at 176.82. But last week, he was just 11 of 20 for 197 yards, 1 touchdown with 2 interceptions. Hornibrook, well, he's completed under 60% in 2 of his 4 games this season. But on the other hand, he's been 70% and 94.4% on his completion rate. Which one shows up against the Huskers? It's time for predictions. So, what do I think in this game? Well, Wisconsin seems to actually own Nebraska's ass in this series, especially since the Huskers have joined the Big Ten. A 5-1 record since the 2011 introduction of the Huskers to the Big Ten pretty much tells that tale. Now, my question is, could the Huskers actually rekindle some of that 2012 magic, win under the lights against the Badgers in Memorial Stadium? The one thing they've got going for them is that 20-game home win streak at night. That magic for me, though, it ends on Saturday night. Wisconsin wins 34-17, and it's because of Wisconsin's improving passing game and Nebraska's inability to not turn over the football. Wisconsin wins thanks to its defense and ball control offense, a great recipe for winning on the road. Follow me on Twitter at Andy Football. Of course, you can follow everything Badgers at Talking Badgers, at Talking Huskers for everything Nebraska, and of course, Talking B1G for all your Big Ten needs. Like I said, I'm Andy Coppens. For everybody on staff, thank you so much for watching, and keep on living the B1G life.